giving us again to enjoy his presence and his grace. This is IEEE Nigeria Southeast Subsection monthly webinar meetings. Our webinar series is a fora where we try to x-ray life issues, where we try to x-ray resources and the avenues where as professionals we can better engage both for ourselves, for our community, for our nation, for the world. It's a forum where we learn from different resource persons, professionals in their own fields, people who have achieved in their endeavor, and they come and teach us what we needed to help us advance both in career and in life, professionally, as engineers or whatever your profession. So this morning we have another very renowned resource person. He is Engineer Dr. Reginald Ogu. He's a lecturer in Federal University of Technology, Owerri, and he's also the chair IEEE ComSoc Nigeria section. He's also the treasurer IEEE Southeast Subsection, and I think he also has one or two other positions in the Nigerian section and in Region 8. And we are privileged to have him this morning. He is a World Bank recipient award. He's a World Bank Research Award recipient. He's also an NRF, Nigerian Research Fund recipient. He has also won several grants and awards from both Nigeria and internationally in IEEE also. So he's a very veritable candidate, renowned researcher, astute researcher, and I believe that he has packaged a very wonderful presentation for us this morning, and I want us to pay attention because we notice that even though Nigeria seems to be getting worse and worse, but if we have some of these resources at our beck and call, we will not feel the economic event so much. As an academic or as an engineer, a practicing engineer, or as a practicing professional, there are so many grants, so many awards available out there which you can leverage on to help sort out a problem in your environment, in your community, in your office place. And in solving those problems, you also have something that you can take home with and help to solve your own economic issues. And in advanced countries, research and grants is the mainstay of universities, of companies, large corporations like Google, Amazon, Facebook, and the rest of them. They leverage on research, on grants, to make to advance technology, to make ends meet for both the company and the individual. So we in this part of the world have not actually been leveraging on these opportunities as much as we should. So this morning we have another opportunity to learn how to master the art of writing grant proposal. Winning a grant starts with writing or packaging a proper and a formidable proposal there are some things that grants awarders are looking out for in your proposal. Most times they won't see you. The first thing they see is your proposal. And once they look at your proposal and it's not meeting a particular standard, they're not seeing some key features, they will throw it out of the window. But when you are able to master how to write an enticing and a good research grant proposal, you'll be able to, at least pass the first stage. Then you know that you can now deliver the other one with your mouth. So this morning, we are privileged to have Engineer Dr. Reginald Ogu, and without wasting much of our time, because we have very limited time for this call, I want to hand over to him. I'll ask him to share his screen and go straight to the lectures. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning. Let me try to share my screen. Chair, confirm if you can see my screen, sir.
Yes, very clear.
Okay, sir. Wonderful. Okay, I welcome everyone on this call to the monthly webinar of the IEEE Nigeria Southeast Subsection, holding today, that's July 27th, 2024. So, like rightly said by our chair, the topic of my presentation is titled Mastering the Art of Writing a Grant Proposal. And the chair has already introduced me to some parts. But for the purpose of introduction, my name is Dr. Engineer Reginald Ogu, and my affiliation is Federal University of Technology, Owerri. Okay. So, concerning about me, he has said a lot about me already, but I was asking myself, why did they choose me to come and be the speaker for this presentation? So at some point I had to, while reviewing my destiny, I said, okay, I've actually won some grants in the past, and in as much as I may not be able to mention all of them, but I think the key ones that I remember, I've been able to list them here. So as a means of introduction, just like the chair said, I am a lecturer in photo, specifically software engineering department. I have a PhD in electronic engineering, and my research interests include embedded systems development, Internet of Things, web development, and utilization of renewable energy. Currently, I am the IT support officer for the World Bank's Center of Excellence in Sustainable Procurement, Environment, and Social Standard in Photo. Um, Over the years, just like the chair said, I've won so many awards. Some I was privileged to be the lead of those grants, and at some point, or in most cases, I become a kind of assist people to win grants. In fact, there are people that I've helped to win grants. I don't even know them. They keep contacting me either via email or phone calls. So, in during between that's 2020 and 2022, I coordinated the activities of the IoT Edge Research Group of Photo, and under my leadership, the group won a TED Fund NRF, that's a National Research Fund grant in 2020. And in addition to that, the group won the IEEE Try Engineering STEM Portal grant in 2021. Um, Before then, I was a PTDF scholar between 2019 and 2020. Then, during the 2020 and 2021 editions of the IEEE Power Africa Conference, which is the flagship conference of IEEE PS and IIS that is being rotated around Africa, like this year we'll have it in South Africa, I won the most likely to succeed project award by the IEEE Smart Village, and that automatically qualified me to propose for a grant, no matter how bad it is, win it. So, in addition to that, I have led several community development projects, one in 2022, 2023, and this year also. Then, in addition to those other ones, I think currently I have a grant from the IEEE as a member-driven initiative. That's MDI. So that being said, I will dive into the business of the day, and I would like to start by trying to throw more light on what a grant is. And from what I have on the screen, a grant is simply a sum of money that is actually given or offered or awarded for a specific purpose. Yeah, we will look at the specific purpose later, we'll see them. And this grant, because somebody is giving and somebody is collecting, the grants are in most cases being given or offered or awarded by governments. They can be given by organizations, which can be non-profit organizations like IEEE or even profit organizations. It can be other entities, some businesses like Google. They can say, we want to do a research and so, they'll fund it. There is one popular one that is making waves around the globe. That's the Bill and Melinda Foundation. So such organizations and entities, they can offer grants. But a key point I want us to note is that unlike loans, grants do not have to be repaid. So once they have, it's a one-way thing. Let's say one-way communication. Once you have received the money, it is a kind of synonymous to, if you go to all these local parks, you see them. Their terms is that no refund of money after payment. So it's a one-way thing. So once you have received it, you use it. Nobody is expecting you to repay anything. So concerning the specific purposes I mentioned earlier, grants in most cases are being given for some people or a group of people or organizations to do a project like the ones I mentioned, community development projects. They can be offered for somebody to conduct a research. Also, they can be, that's grants, can be offered for somebody to maybe show or prove his initiative or other activities that may align with the grantor's objective. Like, for instance, let's say there's an organization that is interested in maybe um, zero carbon emission. So it is expected that when they are funding people, their objective is to make sure that we don't emit carbon to the atmosphere. So it will be that whatever they're funding will align with their mission or objective. So that's what I want us to note at this early stage. Then, who are grants given to? Yeah, basically, grants are awarded to individuals. It can be depending on the call anyway. It can be a one-man thing. They can say individuals are invited to apply, which means only you can do the work. It can be organizations can apply. It can be businesses can apply, or institutions can apply. So depending on the call, so anybody can receive one form of grant or the other for a particular purpose. So at this early stage of this presentation, I want to kind of throw more light so I will not be confused, because in most cases, people tend to be confused about the difference between grants and seed funds. Yeah. So the emphatic statement there is that grants and seed funds are both forms of financial assistance, but they differ as provided below. One, I've used the some rubrics. That's the number one being the purpose. Typically, for grants are typically awarded to support specific purpose or task, and in most cases, oftentimes, the person receiving the grants is to fulfill a public kind of public or philanthropic goals. That's the person uh, giving the donation. Then, whereas seed funds, they aim at helping startups, that's new businesses, get off the ground. That's, you may have a business idea that you are not seeing, and so they just give it to you. And such money are actually used to cover initial costs, such as product development, market research, and early operational expenses. So another rubric I've used is the source. In most cases, Grants are provided by governments, foundations, non-profit organizations, educational institutions, and sometimes corporations. But for seed funds or seed funding, don't know what you want to call it. So they are typically provided by angel investors. They just want to explore. So venture capitalists, they want to seek new ventures. And sometimes incubators or accelerators, they want to promote your business. And for the seed funds, they may also come from personal savings, friends, and family. Like you may start the popular Igbo economic business plan that people have to do boy. When you finish, your people can actually raise money for you to go and start a business. So that's a form of seed funding. Then another rubric is in terms of repayment. Earlier on, I said that grants do not need to be repaid, but oftentimes for seed funds funding, they require an equity stake in the company or future financial return. Remember, I said the people that are investing are venture capitalists. They want to venture, they want to stake something. So at some point, you may have to reach some sort of kind of, because they are seeing prospects in that business that are kind of investing. They may want to say, in the next 2 years, look at what we want from this company. Even if you don't give us money, we want to just be board members or this at our own name. While your business is growing, our own business can also grow. So not typically structured as loans, but investors expect a return on their investment. That's for seed funding. So for concerning the application process, for grants often involve a detailed proposal outlining the project goals, methodology, budget, and impacts. And the application process is often highly competitive and may have stringent measures. Whereas for seed funds funding, they may involve pitching the business idea. That's where you come to do some short videos to the potential investors. You can be asked to create a business plan and demonstrate the potential for growth and profitability. Yeah, they can also be competitive, but still just less competitive compared to grants. But the focus is more on the business potential for success rather than meeting specific funding criteria. So, in terms of usage, the money given to you as grant must be used for the specific objective or purpose outlined in the grant proposal. Usually, grants come with reporting requirement. That's maybe periodically, maybe daily, bi-monthly or maybe yearly. You'll be given that report to demonstrate how the funds were used and what was achieved. But for seed funding, they are flexible to cover various startup costs. The goal is to help the business reach a stage where it can secure further funding or generate revenue independently. Yes, somebody can give you may have a business idea, maybe that you want to be selling a kind of a tire for the keke is phasing out, gradually phasing out in some streets now, and you collect a funding, seed funding for it, and because it's flexible. Since you are seeing that there is a one-shot bus that is popular in Imo State now and some other cities, since people are now moving over there, and if you have a seed fund, you can actually begin to shift your business towards the buying tires and selling tires of that small bus instead of sticking to that of keke. But whereas, had even if it is grants, money for grant, you must use them to continue to trade on that what's it called, that old keke that was outlined in the proposal. So that's what I meant there. So concerning the types of grants, because I want to major my presentation on grants, we have research grants, which are funds provided to support scientific or academic research. And a typical example is the popular one from TED Fund, that's the Fund National Research Fund. We have educational grants, which are financial aids for students to help cover tuition and other educational expenses. Then we have community grants, that's funding for community projects, social program, and local initiative. We have another one, business grants, which are financial support for startups or small businesses to help them grow or innovate. Then we have art grants, which can be funding for artists, musicians, writers, and other creative professionals to support their work and projects. Then we have non-profit grants, which are financial assistance for non-profit organizations to carry out their missions and programs. So now we move to the main business of the day concerning how to get a grant. Yeah. So basically, grants typically require an application or involve an application process, and it is expected that applicants must demonstrate how the funds will be used and how they meet the criteria set by the grantor, or maybe if you want to say awarder, the person that is giving you the money, or the funder, depending on what. So the important steps is that you must develop a manuscript that will convey your case, make it a superior case. You remember we say it is competitive, right? So which means other people are submitting. So it's submitted on an idea. So you have to get on an idea. They can make a call then and maybe give you 2 months as the submission deadline, right? So you begin to say, can I work on this? This over time, as you begin to conceive the idea and meditate and do one or two minus and plus, you bring a proposal it is important you discuss the idea with people directly or indirectly. Why I had to put directly is people you trust that may not have interest in such, you can discuss it directly with them. But people that you think they can turn around to even use that idea to write, and maybe if they use it to write and they command better, they command the English grammar better, they will use the idea to win the distance. So you can just throw it indirectly. What do you think? Yeah, if this thing if I start this small boss is coming out, if I start learning how to maybe do the wiper, maintain the control boss, will it be well? How do you think? But you are psyching them indirectly. But if you go ahead to tell them that you want to learn this, they will hijack it, and then you blame yourself later. Then after discussing and maybe getting maybe making your idea to see if it's kind of viable, the first point is now you develop a draft and review it by yourself. Then after that, you move to the stage of giving it to someone to review. But giving it to someone to review is also subject to being careful, because there are people you never can tell that you give your this thing. They will even hijack it and know, especially if you don't blind, maybe you remove the topic and what have you. You can make it section. Maybe if you are checking for grammar, you can just copy a particular section and give to this person. Please check grammar for me. Copy and give to this other person. They don't know what they're reviewing, right? But if you give somebody a whole document where you have written proposal to Bill and Melinda Foundation scheduled for this, and you have pasted a link, the person, we are humans anyway. So the person, I don't know, you can live to tell the story. Then after the review, you now produce the final manuscript. Then use a template if provided. In most cases, the funders will provide a template for you to fill in the needed details. But if they don't provide and they say that there is a kind of online platform, to avoid you being a kind of, would I say, disappointed at the end, the first thing I do is, if they say it's an online platform, I will just create an account in that platform and click on create new submission. Once I click on create new submission, I can now go ahead to copy the required fields that to submit. And if I copy them, in fact, that's the word I would then try to fit in that my final manuscript to see if that's anything I'm leaving out, right? And if there's anything I'm leaving out, I'll try to populate it. So that once I get to that portal again, it is just to copy and paste and copy and paste. Because if you maybe you didn't kind of access that application portal, and maybe you just want to submit, maybe and to see that you have submitted, you may be stuck to where you have one or two sections or fields that you need to do. And if you are in a haste, you can just type anything that may even disqualify you. So, but let's say they didn't provide a template and there is no application format or template. They say submit proposal. So the thing you need to do is try to provide the key points, but let them be concise and let them explain the things needed to make a strong case for you. In that case, you need to put introduction, put the specific objectives, put the milestone, try and put the budget as well, even the impact. So you have now know how to structure. You see, they didn't give you any template per se, and then you try to put team members. But if they give a template, please try to stick to it. Then another point there is, excuse me, try as much as you can to stick to the submission deadline. In fact, if it is when things are being submitted by hand, you can say, if I go there, I'll go and beg. But in this case of IT era, you see that once it's, let's say they say it's 27th July by, let's say, 12 p.m., right? By 12 p.m., you see that the portal will close. So you don't have anybody to even, will I say, to even complain to. And in most cases, especially for the international organizations, they will say 12 p.m. EST or maybe GMT. So to be safe, to avoid the time difference, I recommend you submit a day before that date first, because time difference may be that their own EST has passed 5 hours before you and you are jubilating that you're on time, only for you to go there, it has closed out. So 24 hours before the deadline is always important. So another key point I want us to note is being positive minded is key to winning research. Yes. Try to make a submission. Don't deny yourself. Yes. And by being positive minded, a positive mindset involves maintaining an optimistic and constructive perspective, even in the face of challenges. Yes. Bill and Melinda Gates, they are making some proposal, call for proposal. Yes, it's a worldwide thing, right? Indians will apply. People from US will apply. UK people from will apply. I mean, people from the most prestigious universities that have the state of the art computer and what have you. But that shouldn't make you not to apply. Who knows? So just be optimistic that it is you, that even if it is one person that they will approve, let it be you. Make that case, right? So by having a positive mindset, you can significantly impact on your well-being and your success. Because if you have a success that this is you're writing something and you're having a kind of mindset that this is a grant-winning proposal, you have it already. That is the way you stay right, and that's the way it works. It will work out for you. So my this thing there is that you should try as much as you can to focus on the solution you are proposing. Leave other people in Harvard, leave those people in MIT, right? At that level, it is your duty to write the proposal and submit. Somebody's duty is to approve or otherwise unapprove it or even throw it out. But you have to do your own. At some point, old man used to tell me that act where your part, that's where the honor lies, right? Your own is that you are an applicant, so apply. And another key point is you should avoid self-rejection. That idea you're calling stupid idea. People may see it and start flying around. They'll see it and start jumping. You say, this rubbish. I just thought about it. So don't, no matter how stupid it is, make a case. Because if you don't have a case file, nobody can talk to you. At some point, these organizations, they have budgets at the beginning of the year. Most of them, let's say they have $100 million to give out, and at the end of the day, they only received two proposals, right? And the two proposals, total of them is just $20,000. So they still have deficit of 80,000. And most of them, the account department, trying to tell the people that they want to return money or what have you, is so not easy than collecting the money. So, and if your own is the third one, definitely what they can now do is they will call you, please, we want to include we have reviewed your listing, your proposal. Can you work on this? Can you tweak it this way? Can I think the review? I think it will be better this. Sure, it had they been you didn't speak that first time, you had a negative mindset. This one that is worldwide. People from MIT or maybe Harvard, they will hijack it, they will win it. You don't have a case. It is only when you have a case. In fact, you may have a case, you have submitted that thing, only for you maybe in one of these our local airports, you see someone maybe you on the lift or something, the person will start interacting with you. From that interaction, you discover that even that person may be one of the people that may even review your listing. And if you have a case, you say, yes, I heard about it, I submitted. You say, oh, what's your name? That was your name, takes care of everything. But had they been you didn't submit, you will not have a case file for somebody to actually help you if he wants to help you. In fact, I have a kind of habit. Anywhere I see grants, call for grants, except if I don't have time. I will just throw out as long as I have that idea, even if it is an incomplete submission, I will make. So long as that idea, most of the viewers, they will then correct me that this is what they think will be better in the future or what. I've learned my lessons. So you need to be positive minded. Then another point I would like us to note is team and the collaboration. It's actually very key when it comes to proposals relating to grants. So try to incorporate professionals either directly or indirectly as part of your team. Professionals is that, let's say you can see this bulb the people are fixing. If the person on top now didn't bring that his own, or maybe the person on removes his own, it means that that bulb will be incomplete. So if that proposal you are writing requires team members, it's a group, the more the merrier. People that have reputation, add them to your team. You can discuss with them that in case so I'm doing this, I'll add you. You add them. Then in case you have people that you think like the NRF that is this thing common, they normally use maybe former DVCs and VCs. Try to share that your idea. If you have that chance to see a VC or something, all those people, they will tell you, look at what we are looking for. Look at what we are looking for. This is this. They would have guided you. That little conversation you have with them or their phone call may have guided you to some extent. Another thing I want you to note is that a balanced team helps a lot, and you should pay attention to gender balance. In most cases, this gender thing is no longer a child's play. I must be frank with you. In fact, at some point, if I look at the way the things may go, I may at some point I have stepped down for a woman to head a group. Let it be that we want it, because it plays a lot of games, and it helps them decide, because even them that are the reviewers and panel members or committee members, at some point they will have to show their statistics to their managers that they gave out 10 research grants or something, that at 10 out of 10 their leaders were males. So but you now, to balance the equation, if it is only your proposal that the woman is a kind of maybe the head, it may help a lot to play a very vital role in deciding whether you win it or not. They'll say, since we have only this one, please let this one go so that I will be safe. They want to be safe also. Then you should know that good CVs and bios boost the proposal. Not that maybe you are doing a good proposal now. You see somebody like me who is a kind of naive in proposal, who have not won anything, you just go and place me. But if you have another somebody like that is not me, that has a track record of has done a lot of grants and has managed and this. In fact, by adding that person's name, they say, we know this. So those some of these reviewers that are always the same, jumping from one organization to the other. So we know this person, he always delivers. You see that person that you have added his CV or biography to help you win that grant. So team and collaboration is actually very key. Then one of the most important things I want to comment on is budgeting, which has to do with budget and justification. So proper budgeting during a grant proposal is essential, because a well-constructed budget demonstrates the feasibility of the project. Yeah, a good budget shows that applicants has a clear understanding of the cost that will be involved. Yeah, and good budgeting helps ensure that projects can be completed within the available resources. And the another point there is a detailed budget provides a framework for monitoring project expenses and evaluating financial performance against plan. You can't be telling me that maybe your project or proposal you are to fix, do an inverter system, and as part of your budget now, somebody is seeing, will I say, what will I put? Somebody is seeing that you're buying an operational vehicle as part of the budget. It will just throw the person off per se, right? Then some organizations will tell you that they will not pay for personnel cost. So in that case, you don't need to say payment or honorarium for this. You don't. In fact, once they see it, it has now become a red flag for you. They will not minus some things and even throw it, especially when they have many proposals. They will throw it or sideline that proposal. Then some will tell you, even if when you want to put like the NRF, right? They will tell you, even if you're putting what's personnel cost, that the personnel cost should be must not be higher than so and so percentage of the total cost. And then the lead researcher, that his or her percentage should not be so and so of the total percent. So you need to play all this, because once they use their calculator to point the percentage and then they have comma for you there, right? So the rule there is that you try to show a very high level of frugality with the project through the budget, right? So you try to, even if pencil is 5 naira, state it there 5 naira. If the delivery is 2.5 kobo, put it there, let them see how it is. Then if there must be, let's say pencil is 5 naira and you are stating that it must be 50 naira. So it is not in your justification you say yes, that high quality materials are being provided, that they have 2 years guarantee, as can be seen maybe if you are supporting with invoice better. So that is what will justify the use of that 50 naira instead of the 5 naira that people are used to. So by that, I'm saying or advising that you should try to avoid pardon and bogus budgeting. Yes, people who have an idea tend to have an idea because most of these review members, they are monitoring and evaluators also, right? So they may have an idea of what pencil is. Not you coming to tell us that one pencil that should be 5 naira, that it is now a kind of, maybe you are telling us that it's 1 naira. Are you going to steal it? Or you're telling us it's 500 naira? So the good this thing is that another thing is you try to start small and scale up instead of targeting the maximum amount, right? Start small, lure them, let them support you. Once you lure them, let them support you, and you're able to deliver, you can actually apply for scale up on them. As long as they have trusted you, you fulfilled all the listing, you are now a regular customer to them. Yeah. So, but another point with that idea, don't be afraid to related amount. In fact, these days, if it is not the maximum amount, I don't apply. If it wants to fail, let it fail. It doesn't concern, it doesn't concern me. So don't be afraid. So long as you have the justification for it, go for it, please. So the key players, you have to, as you're writing the proposal, you have to bear or have the key players of the whole proposal writing and the submission process in mind. One of them is the administrators. The other people is the reviewers. The other one is the panel or decision-making committee. So, and you should bear in mind there are checks, preliminary checks, there are reviews, there are decisions. So, preliminary check can be secretary or the administrator. They have submitted 1,000 proposal. Please check. Since we stated that it should be kind of 5 pages, check the ones that are up to 6 pages. Keep them one side. The secretary, he doesn't even know what his boss and the committee members are doing. His or her own is there. Is just everyone that has passed 5 pages, the person will just remove it from there. So that's how they have eliminated you, right? Then during the review process, also that's when they take the tough decisions and then possibly make recommendation for the larger or bigger boys that are take the decision. So you should bear them in mind. What categories of people can actually do this? So always try to give people what they want to see, hear, or read. Yes. If, like, in most cases, for the NRF as example, most people that they have as their reviewers are past vice chancellors and DVCs. So those people are big men. Going to give them, like, people who formed the habit of maybe blowing too much jargons in their NRF. They did those mathematicians, they didn't even win those grants. But those people, they want to read English like. It is better when you go to, if by chance you meet someone face to face during defense. In fact, you can actually chat and do any other thing. But that, to make a case, tell them that thing they want to hear. Those vice chancellors, they're big men. They don't have that time to come and read those bogus formulas or equations you're writing for them. So the last rule there is that try as much as you can to play by the rules. If they say it's 5 pages, let it be 5 pages you are submitting. If they say the characters is 100 characters, try to submit with 100 characters. So another point is avoid sentiments, which can include emotions, attitude, and opinions that individuals express, that one can express or response to. So as you're writing, don't, in fact, by trying to be sentimental, emotional, you may raise some eyebrows, because at some point we have seen proposals that some organizations will say they will write their eligibility criteria and ineligibility criteria, where they say family members and relatives or third parties that are related to staff and committee members are not to apply. So in that case, even if you want to apply, apply as if you don't know anybody. But if you go and forget that, thinking that you forgot yourself, not knowing, not minding that your husband is one of them, or maybe your wife, He's part of the committee members, and you are talking to him. You are writing as if you're talking to him maybe in the house. It may begin to raise some sort of, there is emotion in this, and it may raise a further inquiry that may even go ahead to expose that there is something called a conflict of interest. So try to be very plain. Even if you are talking after the house, once you leave and you're writing your husband who is to review it, write it as if you don't know him. Don't leave sentiment out of it. He will not see you as the wife because there may be many there. So in conclusion, I've wasted time. So life, I must confess anyway, life is easier with grants, because grants is actually for some of us. Yeah, I'm a civil servant, I'm a lecturer. A salary by what's it called, by end of the month. Before 10th, some of us can attest where the money goes. But it is through grants that you can actually have funds to do a lot of things and explore and even live better, like just like the chair said. And the economic destiny of Nigeria may not bite so much on you. So now I want to let you know that you have the time that people want to pay for. By beginning of the year, they have their budget. They want to fund. So it is you, yeah, it is you that should bring out your time. You have nothing to do to lose. Write those things, even if nobody, just bring ideas, write and keep. You see, as you see those proposals, write. So another point there is, don't be afraid to make submissions. People improve through several attempts and rejections. In fact, as they reject you, most of them will likely come back. That we reviewed this your proposal. At some point, they will say we received many. Now that your own is not good, but we think it will be better if you do this. You have noted that point in case you want to submit that proposal somewhere else. So you need to improve on it. So another point is you need to consult past winners. If you know anybody who has won that grant before, please consult that person. Ask him what he or she did, if the person is willing to share. Then proposal winning documents, if you have access to them, you can actually consult them and see what the people did. Like in most of the IEEE, we try to share testimonial from past people, and then like there is one student paper competition for Power Africa currently. We actually added the award-winning documents so people can have a guide to um, see what they write. Then the last point that I bulleted or bolded is try crafting a proposal instead of writing a proposal. Yeah. So look at what happened. At some point, there was a proposal, there was a grant I won. So someone asked me I should give him, let him read. So after reading it, what the person came back and said, this proposal was not written. In fact, it is a well-crafted proposal. So that's when I learned this word, that you don't actually write proposal. It's a competition. Grant proposals is competition. So you try as much as you can to win. You craft the proposal, you don't write it. If you write literally just like that, you try to play with people's understanding to some extent. Let them see that you have more. This person knows what he's saying. Craft them into saying, okay, at some point, let us give this person, let us see what will come out of this. At some point, they take that decision. Let us see what will come out of it. Because you have actually played and crafted them into awarding you that thing. So I think on that note, I will rest my case here while thanking the chair and other schools and people who joined this session to listen to whatever I was saying. So thank you very much, Chair. Over to you, sir. I'll stop sharing.
Thank you so much, so much, Dr. Reginald. That was a very insightful presentation. I have won some grants myself, but I must say that I learned quite a lot from that presentation. It is very wonderful. Thank you so much. And I'm sure those of us on the call have also learned one or two things. So before we wrap it up, because I'm watching our time, um, I want to give opportunity for one or two persons who may have questions for our resource person to ask. Probably you are writing a proposal or you are finding something confusing or difficult. There's something he said that Sorry, can you hear me?
whether it's from you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Better, sir. Fine, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, my network just went off. I had to switch to another network. So I was saying probably there is something that he said that is not yet very clear. Please, you can show a raise of hand, and we can call you to ask your question. Any question? Yes, Godfrey, you have the floor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I quite appreciate the presenter. He has actually done great justice to this proposal writing. My question is if there is any assistance for somebody like myself who have not or who do not have anybody who have won the grants or any of the grants to have access to the way they wrote their own proposals? Or is there a platform we can go and then have access to that? That's my question. Thank you.
Dr. Reginald.
Okay, sir. In as much as at some points people preach what they don't practice per se. Personally, I don't consult. I don't know whether it's I will call it a gift. I don't consult past winning proposals. What I do is I share my ideas per se with people. That's the best practice for me. But in most cases, like most IEEE this thing, they will actually show you that this is the one that won last year. For especially IEEE, they will show you that this is the one that won last year that you should look at the proposal. They will show you even the people's testimonial, and at some point, they will even require the people to make one form of publication, either maybe video or something. So by reading those things, you get the idea of what they're actually looking at. Then for you, some of us are actually, once you drop a message for us, when we look at it, we can actually advise very well. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, to add to that, I would say identify people that have won grants, and especially the grant that you want to win, and go close to them. Like you said, ask a few questions, drop some notes, and let them guide you in the proposal. There are some of us around IEEE. There are also some of them that are maybe, I don't know where you are or your job, but I'm sure that if you look around you, you will find one or two persons who have won grants or who is into grants writing. Uh, just go close to that person. You can even adopt a mentor who is prolific in winning grants or writing grants, and that person can train you into the art of grant writing. Thank you. Pastex, you have the floor.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Okay, so my name is Chooks. Sorry, my name appeared incorrectly. Okay, so the question I wanted to ask, first and foremost, thanks everyone. This is a great event. Thanks for the subsection for organizing this. So the question I want to ask Dr. Reginald, in terms of grants writing, and so you said something about invoice, and listen, so I didn't really get that part. If you could throw more light there. And the question I wanted to ask, in respect to IEEE, what do you think, or what will you encourage the learners or participants in this call to focus on in terms of attracting grants to Nigeria and to the subsection? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Chair, the person that spoke is actually the membership development officer of the IEEE Nigeria section. That's Chukwemeko Okafor. So,
Okay.
okay, I've had your welcome, sir. I've had your question concerning the invoice. At some point, funders will request you that you send the invoice or maybe website of the material you want to buy. So it is often advisable that maybe during your budget, You just say see invoice attached. You get invoice from people and then attach to it with your what's it called, with your proposal, so they don't come back to ask you that question again. Then concerning the second question about the starting point from IEEE, right? I've won a kind of many grants with IEEE, but I think one of the easiest and they seem to have forms is the HTB. That's a humanitarian technological board. Like this year, they did Tech for Good. So I think it's one of the easiest to win, and they have the funds. So look out for the call. Maybe it usually come out around between February and April every year. That's the first call, the main call. Then the other adjunct calls come on board, which has some other conditions. So that's the starting point that is easier for anybody to win. I don't know if I answered that question.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Go ahead, Chair.
Okay. I don't know, Chooks. Do you want to say something?
No, I wanted to thank him. Listen, the
Okay.
other part of this conversation I will have privately with him. Thank
All
you.
right. Okay. So okay. I think that was day before yesterday. I saw a call from HDB. So I think they have opened or they will open the portal for the second part of HDB grants. So you can actually visit HDB website, IEEE HDB's website. I think there are a number of calls. If you subscribe to them, they are the HDB Region 8 chairperson sent out a letter, I think a few days ago, and there are a number of grants on that memo. So you can scout for that, or if you request, we can send it to you so that you can look at it and see which one of them you can key into. One other thing I would like to say is some of these grants have deadlines, some of them are close, some of the deadlines are close, some of them are far. So just if you look at any one of them, quickly identify the one that you feel you can key into and get to work immediately. You might choose one that the deadline is a bit timely, maybe giving you a month or two, especially if you're a beginner, so that you have time to craft, like Dr. Reginald said, a good proposal. If you see a grant call that maybe is ending in a week or two, and that is your first attempt, yes, you may throw in something, but it will just be, let me just attempt. But if you are competing, if you have like two proposals or proposals to write, and one is in a week, the other one is in a month, and you are just starting, I'll be thinking that the one in a month will give you a better time to. So these are some of the things you look out for, and to end this call, we're already 11:06. Like I said that when we were beginning, this is IEEE Nigeria Southeast Subsection. We are part of a subsidiary of IEEE Nigeria section, and IEEE is a global organization that advances technology for humanity. We have our 10 regions with over, I think this number is not actually correct now. We have over 400,000 members across the globe, and IEEE has several societies. You can join IEEE, join a society. Some of the grants from IEEE are tied or are given only to members of the society. So, for example, I know that one of the recent calls I saw, they said you must be a member of PES Society to be able to apply for such a grant. So, join societies in IEEE so that you can have an avenue to volunteer for your services. Let me share that. Okay. So these are some of the societies that are in IEEE, and you can join the ones that you are interested in. Many of them, last year, Computer Society made a call, and so many other ones, they make calls for research or grants proposal. You can throw in one, throw in two in different societies. Some of them, even if you are not a member of the society, you can partner with somebody that is a member of the society as the lead, and then both of you will collaborate. Like the presenter rightly said, collaboration is key. And in writing grants proposal, sometimes you may have to write a part, some other collaborators will write parts, and you come together and bring it together, and it will become a formidable proposal. So thank you every one of us. If you're not a member of IEEE, you can send us a chat, and we can help you to onboard. IEEE is the largest technology association in the globe, and you know IEEE because of some of the standards that we support, and events, activities, and conferences that we organize all around the globe. I know that IEEE Nigeria is planning to organize in a conference in November, right? Dr. Reg?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes.
sir. I was muted.
In
Sorry.
November, NigerCon. So if you have a paper, that you want to present, you can throw it in there, and you have an avenue to publish in an IEEE publication. IEEE publications are um, high-rated publishers with a high index factor. So visit if you contact any of the leaders, they will send you the call for submission to NigerCon. It's a good avenue to um, publicize your research and your activities, and also get published in reputable journals and conferences. So thank you. If there are any other questions, if there are no other questions, we would call this meeting a quit.
Okay, Chair, a quick one.
Yes.
Please, somebody said he wants to join IEEE. The person can reach out to MDO. Please take charge. Thank you, sir.
Okay, right.
Okay. So, sorry, Chair, please. Permit me to drop my email
Yes,
on
please.
this in chat.
Please do so.
Okay.
Right. So Godfrey, he will drop his email. You contact him, and he would take you through the steps of becoming a member. Other people that are on the call also take advantage of that, and become a member. Advance yourself. Yes, the email is there. Advance yourself professionally, academically. IEEE also has a lot of resources online in the IEEE portal, learning portal, where you can get certificates. You learn at your own pace, get certificates to add to your CV, and to enhance your knowledge and skills. So take advantage of these resources for your personal and professional advancements. Thank you very much. I will ask the WIE Chair, Dr. Oleka, to please close us with a prayer. Dr. Eleka, are you still here? Okay. Can I ask Engineer Nwokoye Sandra?
Hello.
Okay, Oleka, yes.
Hello. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Sorry. Something to. I was to say a closing
Closing prayer,
prayer.
please. Yes.
Hello. Thank you so much, Chair, for this opportunity. Thank you, Dr. Reginald. I appreciate it. I learned a great deal. Shall we pray in Jesus' name?
Amen.
Abba, Father, we thank you for this opportunity. Blessed be your name because you are God. Thank you for this knowledge that we acquired at this time, at the nick of time when Tech for Good is calling for a proposal. Blessed be your name for opening our insight. We ask you to take over. We ask you to take preeminence, that we will utilize this knowledge. And at the end of the day, it will turn out to be approved grants for all of us. We thank you because you are God. Thank you for the subsection. Thank you for IEEE Nigeria section at large. Let your name be glorified. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Please watch out for our next Amen. Please watch out for the next edition of this webinar. Like I said, it's a monthly webinar. Sometime at the during the end of August, we'll have another very wonderful topic to discuss, and we'll have a renowned resource person to also take it up. Thank you very much. Godfrey, you are still raising your hand. Do you still want to say something? Or has it been taken care of?
No, it has been taken care of. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much. So thank you everybody. Have a wonderful weekend and a glorious week ahead. God bless you.
Thank you, Chair. Bye all.